Types of gardens. Gardening is not only a hobby, it is an art form. While most gardens are a result of particular climate or landscape, many are simply an extension of the gardener's imagination and passion. Let us study the types of gardens. There are many types of gardens depending upon its size, types, and popularity. Gardens should also be classified by country origin and historic empire. Let us discuss the types of garden. Chinese garden. The Chinese garden is a landscape garden style which has evolved over 3000 years. It includes both the vast garden of the Chinese emperor and the members of the imperial family built for pleasure and to impress. They created an idealized miniature landscape which is meant to express the harmony that should exist between men and nature. What is the history of Chinese garden? The earliest recorded Chinese garden were created in the valley of the Yellow River during the Shang dynasty. These gardens were large enclosed parks where the kings and nobles hunted game or where fruits and vegetables were grown. Early inscriptions from this period carved on tortoise shells have three Chinese characters for garden, that is Yu, Pu and Yuan. Yu was a royal garden where birds and animals were kept, while Pu was a garden for plants. During the Qin dynasty, Yuan became the character for all gardens. A famous royal garden of the late Shang dynasty was the Terrace Pond and the Park of the Spirit built by King Wan Wong west of his capital. Look at the picture of the Yuan garden in Shanghai that was created in 1559. Design of the Chinese garden. A Chinese garden was not meant to be seen all at once. The plan of a classical Chinese garden, this presented the visitor with a series of perfectly composed and framed glimpses of scenery, a view of pond or rock and blossoming trees, or a view of distant mountain peak. Let us study one of the type of Chinese garden, that is Chinese classical garden. China aspired to replicate that beauty exhibited in traditional Chinese landscape paintings. They are often referred to as poetic gardens and were designed to inspire creativity and act as a connector with nature. Chinese classical gardens varied greatly in size. The classical gardens were surrounded by a wall, usually painted white, and which served as a pure backdrop for the flowers and trees. Basically, a pond of water was usually located in the center, and many structures, large and small, were arranged around the pond. Look at the picture of Zichang Garden in Wuxi. It is an example of Chinese classical garden. Moving further, let us study another type of garden, that is Mughal garden. It is designed in a Mughal style with a blend of British style, adorned with the Mughal style canal, terraces and fountains. Mughal garden is a circular garden. It is spread over an area of 6 hectares. The Mughal garden is easily accessible from anywhere in Delhi. Inside the Mughal garden, there are a number of beautiful gardens like Butterfly Garden, Pearl Garden and Circular Garden. Mughal garden style was heavily influenced by the Persian gardens, particularly the Charbagh structure. Design and symbolism of Mughal garden. It is designed to derive primarily from the medieval Islamic garden, although there are nomadic influences that come from the Mughals' Turkish-Mongolian ancestry. Sites of Mughal garden: Humayun Tomb, Taj Mahal, Ram Bagh and Mehtab Bagh. Let us study about another type of garden, that is English garden. It is a style of landscape garden which emerged in England in the early 18th century and spread across Europe, replacing the more formal symmetrical gardens in Europe. The English landscape garden is presented an idealized view of nature. History of the English landscape garden. The predecessors of the landscape garden in England were the great parks were created by Sir John Wenberg. These gardens, modeled after the gardens of Versailles, were designed to impress the visitors with their size. These parks featured vast lawns, woods, pieces of architecture such as classical design by Hawksmoor at Castle Howard. At the center of the composition was the house, behind which were formal and symmetrical gardens in the style of garden of La Franchise which ornate carpets of floral design and wall of hedges decorated with statues and fountains. Example of English gardens are William Kent Charles Bridgeman, Stowe House. Thank you.